The devs have knocked it out of the park yet again. EA College Football 25 is going to be one of the best games ever. And I'm not sugarcoating anything. This game will go down as probably the best sports game of all time. The amount of detail. I mean, just look at this presentation right here. It doesn't get better than this. You couple that with the gameplay that you're going to see later in this video. I mean, there is no other game that can tout that kind of detail, that fluidity, the presentation. All of it is amazing. Here you get a look at the new kick meter. Looks like it's going to be pretty fun to use, and it's going to be a little bit of a challenge to get used to, and it's not going to make kicking super easy. But the first thing that I noticed when I was watching this trailer is that the gameplay is smooth. It doesn't look animation-based or animation-heavy. There are animations in it, yes. But, I mean, check out this throw right here. Like, that throw looks fluid. The motion looks normal. And the run after catch, it looks more, and I'm going to use the word fluid and normal a lot, but it does look like that. When you watch Madden gameplay, it feels very stiff. You don't see that here. And that's what I love about it. I mean, just check it out. The motion, the mechanics, the throw, all of it look amazing. And so you get into it, you watch more clips, and it's like that tackle looks a little bit more, you know, it's still got some animation in there, but it looks more physics-based than Madden does. It seems like every single tackle in Madden is some sort of animation in that it didn't get there fluidly, but it did here. I mean, you're even getting checks to the sideline. Like, that stuff, they just implemented it in Madden. I know it's probably, you know, it's technology they have, but it's not something they thought of. But, like, look at how fluid this run is. And then that tackle, like, we've seen that tackle in Madden, but it felt like because he was coming off of a broken tackle that it was more normal, you know, because he's losing his momentum. The other guy has momentum coming in. This play that they used in the trailer was awesome. I mean, the jukes, the cuts, it feels like football. It looks like football. Like, this is something that you would see in an actual college football game. You know, that quick cut in space. It just looks right. And that's what I think the games have been missing for a long time now. And what my biggest worry was after watching all of these Maddens was that it's not going to feel like that. But you check it out on second look. Look at this. First cut, boom. Second cut, boom. It looks fluid. It looks like it's supposed to happen like that. And that's what I love so much about the gameplay I've seen so far. Here they're talking about the things underneath the players. The right side is the stamina. The left side is the wear and tear. And the really cool thing about the wear and tear is that you can see it go down throughout the game. They'll get into it later, or they'll show a clip later when they're playing Penn State and Michigan. Drew Aller, the quarterback, has been hit so much that his wear and tear bar was basically halfway gone, and it affected the way that he played. And they had that in the depth chart, too, as well. When you go and make subs, it showed how much the wear and tear was affecting their abilities. I believe it was Donovan, and he had -7 speed from his 92. Overall speed. And so that's the kind of stuff that I think wear and tear is going to be really cool, and I'm really excited to see how it affects the gameplay, because the thing about NCAA 14 that I was always like, well, the other team never pulls out their star player. I don't have to ever pull out my star player. If you want to give your running back 45 carries, you can, and there is no effect on that player. He is the same player he was on carry 1 as he was on carry 45, and that's not how the game works. It's just not how college football or the NFL works. And so to see this was awesome. Now they're talking about the pitches here. And while I like the different pitches, I do think that there's going to be some serious rage potential here, because you go, oh, I pressed it, or I double tapped it, and it still pitched it. So I think they just added another thing that could be a rage-inducing moment. But the gameplay has looked fluid so far. When you talk about guys' spin moves and juke moves, they're not animations. Like in Madden, every single time you juke, in order to get a guy to miss, it was an animation. But here, you're juking in the open space, and a guy's momentum is carrying him away. They don't need an animation to make it feel like, oh, you know, this worked. This spin move is back. This spin moves in this gameplay trailer and overall deep dive, I guess you call it, they look legit. They look like actual spin moves that you would use in the NFL, and not just standing straight up and turning in a 360 motion that Madden has had for what seems like years. I mean, that is really the thing that I wanted to see most, because I'd heard it. I'd heard that the gameplay feels quicker, it feels faster, it feels like college football. But I didn't know it because I hadn't seen it with my own two eyes. Now that I have, I feel really confident that the gameplay is going to be phenomenal, and I'm going to really enjoy it. This play is really all I needed to see to feel confident that this game is going to play well. That juke that tackle that he broke, and then the breakaway speed. You can tell that there's a difference in speed, and speed will matter in this game. That safety or DB did not have the speed to catch Donovan, and he broke away. Like that big play ability is what makes college football so much more fun than the NFL, in my opinion. That was something that I was hoping to get, and it looks like we are going to get. And they're going through the celebrations here. A ton of different options. I don't know if I'm going to learn them in depth, but I think that customizability shows how much effort they put into this game, and I really, really love that dedication. Here you see the flick directional passing, so you can leverage throws, and I think that's going to be a huge factor, especially when you're playing head-to-head, because it's going to make defense a lot tougher to play. It felt like in NCAA 14, you could be a shutdown defender for the most part if you knew what was happening, because you couldn't really control where the ball was going. Now you can, and it's going to make it that much tougher to defend, but you also have the ability with your left stick to flick on defenders and maybe make a play there. But I just love the way the game is looked. That juke right there in the space, it was quick, it was decisive, it made two guys miss. He broke a tackle, but it didn't feel like it was an animation-based tackle. Like this is the kind, like this tackle right here. It's a stiff arm off of him. That tackle, it didn't feel animation-based. It felt like it was physics-based, and I love that. It just looks so much more fluid. It looks normal. It doesn't feel forced. That's what I think that the Maddens have been lacking. Another big thing I think Madden has been lacking is that when you make a bad throw, it misses by a country mile. And that's what I think the devs have figured out perfectly here in EA College Football 25, is that even if it's a red throw, it's still going to be in the vicinity to be caught, because if we're being honest, like a missed throw usually doesn't miss by more than 3 or 4 yards. Like 3 or 4 yards is a lot. In Madden, it's like a throw misses and it's 20 yards off the target and it's picked by the defense, who is nowhere near in good coverage. Now, if you make a bad throw, it's still going to be able to be caught, but you can't do it in bad cover or in good coverage. It has to be against bad coverage in order for it to, work. I also love this up tempo. They're going to show it here in a second, but if you snap the ball immediately, the defense is going to come off slow. I love that. College football uses that mechanic all the time. I think they call it the turbo no huddle. You just get up to the line, you snap it, you got to play, boom, go. So this is going to be really cool to implement into your offense if you have 2 plays in mind that you want to run out of the same formation, in quick succession. That wasn't in the previous NCAAs. It's not even in Madden. And so I think that's another thing that's really cool. Here you see the field general light up, double corner blitz. He sees it, he's able to get it off. Love those abilities, and the fact that it doesn't work all the time is even cooler. I can't stand the fact that Madden has abilities that activate every single time, like double me. If a guy's in single coverage, it works every single time. In college, your best players are still going to make mistakes. And I love the fact that field general, for example, won't work 100% of the time because he's a college kid. He's, 21 years old. Like, they're still prone to make mistakes. But I think the way they implemented that has been perfect so far. We're getting right back into the presentation. I mean, Penn State, night game, they captured the feeling and the vibe of college football so perfectly. I mean, in this video, Donovan's saying, this is exactly what they do. Like, I feel like I'm on the sideline right now. And that's what I want. I want players who have played in these atmospheres to be like, this feels exactly like when I was standing on the sideline. They got the "we are" chants as, Michigan's running out. Like, this is attention to detail and presentation that a college football game needed, and they delivered on and probably exceeded a lot of expectations. So you're going to see Drew Aller get hit a lot, and his wear and tear bar is going to go down substantially. But right now they're showing Mason Graham and his pocket disruptor ability that's platinum. They said that the top 100 players, they went through and made sure they played exactly like they would on a Saturday. And I love that, because you want the college football players to feel like the college football players. And I think that's something that, eventually will get lost in time, especially down in your dynasties when you get down the road, is that those players are going to be gone and you're not going to see those specialized traits. And instead it'll be players who, you recruited, which is you still have that connection to. But I think that, especially in the play now when you're playing with your friends in the first year in Dynasty, you have a connection to these players and you want them to play how you see them play on Saturday. And so I think that attention to detail was also really cool. One of the things I did notice, though, is that the hit sticks do not work very consistently. And so you have to be very timely with it. And I like that a lot because I think too many people go for the hit stick just because it looks cool, but there wasn't enough of a penalty. Now there is, and I think that's a positive addition overall. I love this little comparison graphic. Hopefully they have it for other positions, and I'm sure they will. They're just, two of the best players on each offense. But Nick Singleton rated really well, in my opinion. Same with Donovan Edwards. I think both of them. Maybe Donovan Edwards is a little bit high, but I think Nick Singleton is absolutely an explosive playmaker and deserves that rating. But here you can see the effects that Penn State's home crowd is having on Michigan. It won't really affect Donovan when he's playing Bordeaux, but there's this squiggly play art. It's showing you the wrong plays. It might not snap when you press A. When you make a hot route, it's going to be wrong. Those things are just added bonuses that are going to be so amazing when you're playing the game, and especially when you're starting your dynasty and you're a smaller school going on into a big atmosphere. It shouldn't be easy to win there. But it felt like in NCAA 14, you could win there more often than not, especially if you were decent at the game. Now, good luck. No chance it happens. But this throw was beautiful. It led perfectly, wide open, right? It should just happen naturally like that. Here you get an idea of how a zone defender is going to react. And the thing that I like most about this play specifically is that the defender was actually looking in the backfield when he broke on the ball. Because in NCAA 14, you could be playing man coverage, and as soon as the ball was thrown, it didn't matter if the defender was trailing a wide receiver 30 yards down the field, they were breaking on the ball. There's no way for them to know the ball is thrown if they're in man coverage like that, and so I especially like that you have that kind of ability. Here you see the animation. I don't love Mason Graham's moving a little bit. That animation is in Madden a lot, and it's kind of like whenever the ball is in the air, anybody catches it, and that doesn't really happen a ton. So I'm hoping that it's not as frequent in EA college football because I don't love it. There you saw Aller get hit, but he still made a throw. Even though it was in the red, it was still a catchable throw. And that's the thing that I like about that they've added. It shouldn't be a huge miss. Now, I hope there are still some bad misses, especially when you're, in tough pressure. But anytime there was a little bit of pressure in Madden, it was a missed pass. That spin move, exactly what I'm talking about. The game feels fluid. Like that is how a college football player is going to move. I also think that you can use the red passing to your advantage. So you see how he throws on the back hip there? You can shield it from the defender. So if you don't want to get knocked, I think that is going to be a good tool to use, and it'll be about how you implement that into your passing game. There, you just see speed. But it's like there's a good throw, right? It's a good throw. It leads the receiver, and he's able to get upfield, and his abilities helped him with that because Donovan's a great receiver, so you see it here, takeoff. Moderately quicker release off the line when not being pressed, that helped him. In this clip, you can see a little man coverage. It tells you what zone you're supposed to be on, but look at how fluid those movements were. It looks like you're going to have ultimate control over your players. I mean, he was sitting on that stick route and then broke off and was able to pick that off and just run with the route. Here you see the kicking meter, and Donovan does not do it very well. And so that red will decrease your accuracy even more. And so you don't want to hit the red. Here's a perfect kick, essentially. That's kind of what you're looking for. And you're going to have to adjust, how close you get to that meter if you're at a shorter distance because you don't want to penalize yourself when you don't need to. You might need it for those longer kicks, but nothing else. The thing I'm most curious in, and this clip kind of showed it a little bit, about the offense specifically, is that when you're scrambling as a quarterback, are the defenders going to react in the way they should, or are they in like NCAA 14 going to let quarterbacks run right past them? What I do love here in this clip is that he was able to layer the ball over the defender nearly perfectly so that there wasn't a stupid interception. To have that control and to have that ability is awesome. There you see a fantastic stiff arm. You see a trait light up for Khalil Molang. I think it's the bulldozer or the wrecking ball. It's beautiful. It looked nice. You see the fast pitch there. Shoves him off of him. I mean, it just looks so fluid. Here you see a pass that was actually ended up being caught, but it's in the yellow, and so he had to dive for it. This is one of those things that I mean is just so cool. The presentation that you can see how the wear and tear is affecting your guys. You can see where it's affecting them, what body parts, because that's the thing about wear and tear that they're showing right here. Wherever you get hit is where the body part is going to get affected. And I know that sounds like it's such a simple thing to have, but that's not always the case. You don't always have, in video games, the right system, but they have it here. I just really can't wait for this game. We have a week left, essentially, until the early release, which I did get because I could not wait 3 extra days. I mean, every single thing I see from this game makes me want to play it right now, and I just cannot wait. I'm thinking about it every single day. I know a lot of you probably are too, but I hope for the sake of all of us that it really does play and feel like it looks like, and it's not just some facade that they've done a really good job marketing. I really do believe in the devs, though. This team, everything that we've heard has been praised, and it's been, these guys know what they're doing, and they're going to make an elite college football game for you. It looks like they have, and I hope they deliver on that promise. I want to remind everybody to hit that subscribe button. Just hit 500 subscribers, and I know that doesn't feel like a lot, doesn't seem like a lot, but I promise you guys, it means the world to me. I really hope I'm able to do this full-time as a job, because I do love it, and I want to do that for you guys. I want to create that content. I want to show you what I'm doing so that maybe you decide that, hey, that wasn't the best way to do it in the game. I want to help your dynasty as best I can. So I really do appreciate it so much. You guys do not understand how much it means to me that it has happened so quickly, and the success that I've had on my first 5 or 6 videos. It really does mean a lot, and I hope it can continue to grow. That'll do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Thank you for watching. See ya.